Have you noticed that it seems like when you're trying to go up, when you're trying to make things better and improve your life, that there are things that just come in and just knock you down? Have you ever told somebody something close to you about what you want to do, and all of a sudden you find yourself feeling drained, or you find that it gets blocked somehow? Have you ever experienced gain immense confidence? Maybe you lost weight, maybe you accomplished a goal, and immediately it's like somebody does something unfair to try to humble you, so to speak. You may have even experienced what's called a humiliation ritual, where after you get to a certain peak, you do something major and it feels like the rug is pulled from underneath you, and there may be even a group involved in making you feel embarrassed, shamed, etc. I don't think that's by accident. I think that is by design. If you look at quantum physics with quantum wave collapse theory, which is when you are looking, it's like a particle. When you're not looking, it's like a wave. And the observer effect, which says that when you observe it, it becomes your reality. And if you understand how the subconscious mind and perception interacts directly with reality itself, then it's quite easy to see how the world that you're in needs to hold itself constant. And the way that it holds itself constant is by keeping the frequency, the vibration, and the resonance kind of all within alignment. Meaning, if you start to vibrate too high, if you start ascending, there are things, mechanisms in place to sort of knock you down. Because if not, things within your world, certain things wouldn't exist and wouldn't be here. Now, I've said on previous videos that demons cannot manifest. Lower entity beings cannot manifest. People who have made so-called deals with the devil or done dark things cannot manifest. So what they need to do is find a person that's high vibrational, high frequency, or empaths in order to have that person manifest on their behalf. That's what I call projection magic. Well, the reason why I'm bringing that part up is, what if you lived in a world that was dualistic, where there's good and bad existing side by side? It would make sense that you would not be able to ascend past a certain point without being knocked down, because if so, your world would dramatically change. Certain ideas, certain things, certain people, certain things just would not exist in it anymore. So as a result, not only do they need to keep your frequency down or lower, but if they are on the dark side, like working with demonic entities or something like that, they might even try to use you to manifest for them. So how does this work? Exposing you to orchestrated events, toxic news cycles, drama, and negativity. Coming into your face, telling you about how they're doing all these big things that are not even true, in order to get you to feel bad and to see it within your imagination so you can manifest it for them. By giving attention to things that you don't need, want, or like. All of these things would help you to manifest for other beings and also help keep your vibrations lower. So it is quite parasitic if you think about it. So how are we going to get out of this? By refusing to give up our energy to things that are negative and lower frequency. Regardless of the words, the orchestrated events, the negative things. It doesn't mean you can't be well informed and learn more about what's out there. You can do that. But in general, we don't internalize it. We don't allow ourselves to connect with it so much that we go into a darker place. I'll give you a practical example. I'm not one who likes to discuss politics too much, but I've noticed around certain people, if I don't want to talk about politics, they'll get infuriated. They'll get mad because they want to pull me in so we can get into an energy draining argument or debate. They then siphon that energy and use it for other things. That's one example. You may have found that you had feelings about something that you didn't want to discuss, or you didn't want to get into an argument, so you avoided a topic and the person kept pushing you to talk about it or discuss it in order to try to start a fight with you or a conflict. That's a way of getting energy. That's a parasitic way of siphoning energy. So know that you do not need to tell anybody anything. You do not need to be forced into conversations you don't want to be in. Just to give you a heads up, when you exercise this caution and you don't allow yourself to get pulled into certain debates or arguments or conflicts, you might notice certain people become enraged around you because of this, especially if they needed your energy and you're not giving it to them. So just be aware of this and don't allow them to provoke you. Keep your faith with God, use your intuition, and use your discernment. Be mindful and be careful of what you give energy to. Like, I know for myself, I love to research. I love to learn things. That's why part of the reason why I got the 5 degrees in sociology, behavioral science, economics, and all kinds of other stuff is because in addition to music, I love learning. I've always loved learning. I thought it would be helpful. The biggest thing that I've learned, which is outside of school, is everything is about energy. How to get energy out of you, how to get you emotionally invested, how to get you emotionally attached. And when that happens, it's like all of the rules are thrown out. Everything you've learned in the textbooks, all that stuff is thrown out when it comes to getting energy. That's why we see so many people acting irrationally, doing crazy stunts and things like that don't follow logic, but it's all to get energy. So be really careful about what you engage in, who you listen to, who you discuss things with. Don't emotionally attach to things that are negative, to things that bring you down. Think positive, stay high vibrational, stay high frequency by not allowing yourself to invest in people, places, or things that aren't good, that are negative. You may find that things start kind of going crazy, where people are doing really weird, extra out things, where people start doing really strange things to try to provoke or elicit reactions, responses. They might try to get in your face. They might name call. They might accuse you of certain things, but don't allow it to work. You getting into a higher frequency is more important. Look at life kind of like a dream. Look at life kind of like a dream. You going into a higher frequency is all that matters. I'll talk to you later. Have a great rest of the day. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And till next time, bye-bye.